All right, so you guys know we love to geek out about all things AI here,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And, well, recently our inboxes have been blowing up with questions about something pretty wild lawsuits.
Oh, yeah. It seems like every time you turn around, another AI company's getting hit with some kind of legal trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And specifically, a lot of you sent us articles about this case with, what is it, News Corp.
News Corp, yeah.
Uh,
Big media conglomerate. They own, like, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, a bunch of others.
right. So they're suing this AI startup called Perplexity. You know, like we always do, we decided to dive into all the articles you sent and see what's really going on.
Yeah, we figured let's try to break this whole thing down for you.
So first things first, for anyone who's not familiar, Perplexity, they've built this thing they call an answer engine, right?
Yeah, basically, like, imagine Google, but instead of getting a page full of links, you get a direct answer to your question.
So you ask it like, I don't know, what's the capital of France?
Yeah.
And bam, tells you Paris.
Right, exactly. Except instead of just pulling it from like Wikipedia or something, it scans a ton of different websites, pulls the relevant info, and kind of summarizes it all for you.
That's pretty cool in theory, right? Like, who doesn't want instant answers?
Sure, but here's where things get a little messy. News Corp, they're claiming Perplexity is basically ripping off huge chunks of text from their news websites to create those answers.
Like, straight up copying and pasting, no permission, no nothing.
Yeah, that's the accusation. They're saying it's copyright infringement, plain and simple.
Oof, yeah, that's not good. And wait, I was reading one of the articles. Don't they also claim Perplexity is actually encouraging people to not even click on the links to the original article?
Oh, yeah, that's a big part of their whole pitch. They're like, get your answers fast. No need to waste time clicking around.
Which, from a user perspective, that's pretty tempting. But yeah, you can definitely see how News Corp would be like, hold on a minute.
Absolutely. They're saying this directly undercuts their whole business model. Less traffic to their sites means less ad revenue.
Yeah, no kidding. And get this, I saw that after getting sued, the CEO of Perplexity, Arvind Srinivas, he actually bought a front page ad in the Wall Street Journal,
Yeah.
which is owned by News Corp.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a bold move. I guess you gotta admire the chutzpah, right?
Right. Talk about trying to smooth things over.
Yeah.
So to be fair, Perplexity's not exactly taking this lying down, are they? They're putting up a fight.
Nope, they're not backing down. Basically, their argument is they're not using the content to actually train their AI just to, like, point it in the right direction. They say they're essentially doing what Google does, indexing the web.
So they're saying it's all fair game. Like anything online's up for grabs.
Well, that's where things get really tricky, legally speaking. Copyright law, as it's written now, doesn't really, I guess you could say, it wasn't built for the age of AI and web scraping.
Yeah, it's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole.
Exactly. So it's really a question of, can you apply these old laws to this brand new technology?
And from what I was reading, it sounds like this isn't just a Perplexity problem, right? Other big outlets like Forbes, the New York Times, they're starting to push back against AI companies too.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely a much bigger issue. And this News Corp case, it could set a precedent for, like, the entire industry, really.
So this whole thing, it gets even more interesting when you look at what the CEO of News Corp, Robert Thompson, has been saying. I mean, he's been out there praising OpenAI, another big AI player,
Yeah,
right?
he's been pretty vocal about that.
Well, guess what? They have a content sharing agreement with OpenAI. Like a pretty lucrative one, I bet.
Huh, yeah. Makes you wonder, are they really fighting for the principle of copyright here? Or is it more about protecting their own interests? I mean, they did throw out the term content kleptocracy, which that's some pretty strong language.
Yeah, wow, strong words. So what does all this mean for us regular folks just trying to stay informed in this crazy digital age?
Well, this case has some pretty massive implications. I mean, we're talking about the future of AI, access to information, and, the livelihoods of the people actually creating the content that AI relies on.
Like, if News Corp wins, does that mean AI development comes to a screeching halt? Because can AI even function without access to all this data?
It's definitely possible. I mean, imagine a world where these systems can't learn and evolve because the data's off limits. But on the flip side, if Perplexity wins, does that mean AI companies can just use whatever they want, however they want?
And what about the creators? Do they get left out in the cold? That's a tough one.
Yeah, there's no easy answers here. It's a real balancing act between ensuring access to information and protecting the rights of the people who create it.
In this whole case, it just shows how complicated this relationship between AI and content creation is getting.
Yeah, absolutely. And it leaves us with a pretty big question. If AI can access and process such huge amounts of data, how do we make sure the original creators of that data are recognized and, that they're fairly compensated for their work? That's something we all need to be thinking about.
Yeah, that's a great point. I
Yeah.
think we'll have to leave it there for today. But, keep those questions coming, 'cause this conversation's far from over.